This is the 2027 Chevrolet Traverse LT, and in today's Vehicle Visionary video, I'm going to tell you what the advantages are over the competition. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. This model just came in. They don't have an automated car wash here at the dealership, and I forgot my car wash hat, so I'm wearing my video hat today. It's going to be a little dirty, but I promise you'll be okay. So what do we have here? Well, first of all, a nice looking front end. It's going to have full LED lighting with the LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and the LED turn signal indicators. I'm going to hit the button right here just to kind of let you see a little bit of that in action. Not too much going on where that's concerned. And you will have some chrome finish. It's going to give it a nice look, especially when it's nice and clean. It really will look nice. We will also find that this model is front wheel drive. All-wheel drive is available, but here's a big advantage. You have your 18-inch wheels, and not only do you have a spare tire instead of a tire repair kit, you're going to also have a full-size spare. I like that even more. Now, something else you're going to have here, turn signal indicators built into your heated and power adjustable side view mirrors. Now they are manually folding, and if we come around to this side, you can also see that they will have the blind spot monitoring built in. Here is your key fob with lock, unlock, remote start, panic button, or find my vehicle button as I like to call it. And right here, we're going to push this button. There's your mechanical key. And you may wonder, what is that for? If the key or the battery, not the key, keys don't die, do they? The battery in the key fob, yes, you can laugh at me for that, happens to die. Let's see if I can get this off of here. Here is where you're going to actually stick that key. You can lock and unlock the interior that way, take care of what you need to, and you don't have to worry about it. You're also going to have that button right there. That's passive entry. And I like that for less than $45,000, not only is passive entry on the front door handle, it's on the rear. It's going to benefit you parents out there. You can come here first and lock and unlock all four doors from the rear doors. We're going to have our roof rails up top. You can get the crossbars and help yourself out with increased cargo space. That's always a good thing. We're going to finish things up here with the LED tail lights. That's going to be a nice thing. Let's just see how nice and bright those are. Really bright after dark. And something else that I like here, because so many automakers are going away from this, here's an advantage for some of you, is going to be the quad tip exhaust. Dual on each side of the bumper. Some vehicles don't have that at all. It's all hidden away. And some of you tell me you don't like that. Here's one of the advantages, for some people at least, when it comes to horsepower and torque. It's a 2.5 liter turbocharged four-cylinder. I know. Everybody wishes it was a 6, but it's not. But it does make 328 horsepower and 326 pounds-feet of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, 0 to 60, about 6.8 seconds, top speed roughly 120 miles per hour. Now, for anybody who tells me this is not a 2027, guess what? I know you didn't watch the whole video, because right there it says 2027. Now, how about our MPGs? You can see them right here on the window sticker. 20 city, 26 highway, 22 combined, and 4.5 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. If you're cross-shopping, say, the Honda Pilot, you're going to have an 18.5 gallon gas tank on that model. What do you have here? Well, a little bit more. Here's another advantage, because this model gets great gas mileage out on the highway. It's going to have a 19.4 gallon gas tank. On a full tank of gas, you can drive 388 miles in the city. That number jumps to 504 miles out on the highway. And you will find that you can tow up to 8,000 pounds with this model. You do have the Auto Sense tailgate where you can walk up here. It's automatically going to start beeping and open up. It didn't do it for me that time, but you can turn that feature on and off if you want to. Now, depending on how you set things up in the interior, your cargo capacity ranges between 22.9 cubic feet up to 56.6 up to 97.6 cubic feet. And we're going to have a 12-volt power outlet located right here. And then to lower the seats, let's see how easily I can do this. We're going to pull right there, and that's not going to go down for me. So what we're going to have to do is come up here and improvise just a little bit. Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. Now it goes down. You'll also have to do these manually. I'm only going to do one side, but you can see how that works. Depending on the trim level you go with, you will find that you have buttons that let you do that as well. power for the rear seats. You can lower the middle seats with the buttons, but you'll have to manually put those back in place. And right here, we're going to bring the floor up right here. There is where your spare tire is located. It's actually under this insert right here in the middle. It shows you how to gain access to that, just taking these pieces off and just unscrewing that on both sides. You can pull this whole thing out and gain access not only to the spare tire, but the tools to change a tire. One more thing that I did want to tell you about, whether this is an advantage or not, you'll have to tell me what you think. To change the height of the tailgate, you just do that in the screen. There's a couple of different options that you can go with. If it's too low, you can change that. If it's too high, you can also change it. Another advantage, it is a mid-size 3-row SUV. You do have seating for 7 total people, 2 in the front, 2 here in the middle, and then 3 in the rear. And it's actually a little bit larger than the competition. So for those of you that need that extra space, but you're saying, Tom, I don't want to go full-size SUV, this is what you need to consider. Now, let's take a look at our door panel right here. I do wish there was a little more padding on the armrest, but it should get the job done just fine. It's not rock solid, but that's the way it is. We're going to have our door bin down there, going to offer quite a bit of space, and these seats do recline just like this. You can see that, so you can use the lever on the side to do that. How do you gain access to the third row? There's a release on the top of the seat. You can see it right there. When you pull up on that, it allows you to get the seat up and out of the way. I'm going to climb back here, and we're going to talk about leg space because it is a little limited. Typically a mid-sized 3-row SUV is unfortunately going to be that way, but a good advantage here, again, over the Honda Pilot, the air conditioning vents in the roof area. On the Pilot, they're way down here, too far away in my opinion, especially on a hot day like this in Northwest Louisiana. Now, cup holders, we're going to have a cup holder on each side. Above that, you're going to see the USB port. Everything your passengers are going to need back here will be here. Another advantage here, which is nothing out of the ordinary, 3-row SUVs have this typically, is that you can move these seats back and forth quite a bit to increase leg space for the third row passengers. That does help where that's concerned. That also is dependent on where the front seats are located. Once again, we're going to have our roof mounted air conditioning vents. That is always a plus. The one thing, again, I wished was different here is the length of the armrest. I can put my arm way back here and then I've got plenty of room. But if it's in more of a conventional, comfortable spot, guess what? I need a little bit more, maybe out to about here. The way I like to say that, for any of you GM executives that are watching or engineers, bring that up to the top of the seat as far as its length goes, and then it should be long enough. At least that works for me. Cup holders on the rear of the center console, and then we have the control center for the third zone of climate control, where you can control fan speed, temperature. All of that is going to be here. As far as connectivity goes, you will find a couple of USB ports down here. That's it. And there is a little bit of storage space, actually a decent amount in this little area right here. And speaking of storage, one more thing, we do have the rear seat pockets. Another advantage is you have a lot of technology and features for the money. $43,245 to be exact on this model at Chevy Land in Shreveport, Louisiana. Let's see what else you get for the price. Now, you're not going to have the digital rear view mirror, so you'll just have to flip that lever forward for those drivers that are too close with their brights on. And then the upper console, you're going to have all the things you're used to seeing here. You've got OnStar and your SOS, all that. You're also going to have your hazard light button, and then the sunglass holder is going to be right here. I do have some sunglasses in there. We'll work our way down. Right down here is a pass-through. No connectivity, but there is a little bit of space in there in case you need to take advantage of that. And you're going to have your glove box. Speaking of conventional space, nothing out of the ordinary, but we might as well show it to you. The passenger side door panel will have, again, that armrest that needs a little more padding, and you do have a larger door bin. Now, as far as the seats go, we're talking about a manually adjustable driver's or passenger seat and a power adjustable driver's seat with lumbar support. No seat memory in this case. We will have our adjustments here for our power side view mirrors. One touch down, one touch up at the driver's side only. Now, you do have one touch up, or down, I should say, on the windows at all 4 doors, but you will have to hold these 3 up to make them go up. Power parking brake is found right here. You can turn off that pesky auto stop start. The majority of people can't stand that. Some people might like it, but I know I sure don't. And how about your driving modes? Let's see what we have. Normal, sport with the accompanying graphics. We're also going to have snow and ice, and then tow haul mode. And the drive mode selector is right here. Now, if you want to adjust the positioning of your steering wheel, you drop the lever right there. It is tilt and telescopically adjustable. And you have your shifter paddles on the back of the steering wheel, in addition to, let's see if I can show this to you, the controls for what you're listening to and volume over here on the right hand side in the same place. We're gonna have our shifter right here. Just put your foot on the brake, pull back on that, and you can go into reverse, neutral, and drive. And then we can push the button right there to go back into park. Now, steering wheel mounted controls. You have adaptive cruise control right here. And then you have voice commands, what you're listening to, you can adjust that here. Heated steering wheel, not a bad thing for the price point. And then if you want to change what you see on the driver's display, that's what this button is for. I'm going to just show you everything that is here. And that's not the only changes you can make. I'm going to show you how to add different information as far as the gauge information goes. And then over here, let me go back to this particular screen. The only thing you can do on this side is adjust using this control. You can come in and adjust what you're listening to. So I know some people have asked me about getting rid of that and how you do it. Well, ultimately you can't. It's always going to be about audio. That's the situation. Now, let's come over here to the center screen. Again, nice modern technology that I think is better than any other mid-size 3-row SUV out there as far as this particular class goes. But here's what I was telling you about. Vehicle status. We come right here to gauges. You can add any of this to the driver's display. Say you want to have coolant temperature. There it is right there. Add to driver display. And then it's going to be over here on the left-hand side. We'll show that to you real quick so you can see that. So there it is right there. And any of those gauges you see there, those details, you can add or remove those. Everything that you see here is available to do that with. And then we come back out of that. You can go to maintenance or trip, depending on what you need to know about. Get trip to come up for us right there. It's going to give us these details. And that's not all you can do. We'll go to maintenance just to show you what's here. There's your tire pressure. So if you want tire pressure on the driver's display, I know a lot of you like that. You can do that just to give you an idea of what's going on here and how you can deal with different things. Now, these little plus signs right here, that's going to give you details such as tire pressure, other things like oil life. You hit the minus to get back out of that. You know how that works. That's not too difficult to deal with. You have one camera view as far as this goes. Well, actually two, but only on the rear. So no surround view camera, nothing like that. But just so you can see, there is the camera that is here. You can come in and make a few adjustments on your settings if you need to. You'd have trailering as far as that goes. I'm not going to go into that too deeply, but you can see what all is here. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone. You have the Play Store and Google Assistant, practically endless voice commands, including the air conditioning. You can adjust with voice commands. You can see what all we have here under settings, sounds, privacy, accessibility, all of that's going to be here. I'm not going to do a deep dive into all of this, but just to give you a quick idea. Audio settings, teen driver, you can set that up for your teen to drive. And your safety features, people do like to know about this, so you can see what all is here as far as that goes. And if you're wondering what the differences are between this option and this option, here's what it is. If you don't have that check mark over there, it's either on or it's off. And then we can come over here to Park Assist, and it's either off or you have the alert that's going to let you know what's going on where that's concerned. With climate, like I said, you can do this with voice commands. You can also come in here into the screen, and you also have physical controls. There's your rear controls where you can adjust it from the driver's screen, or the center screen, I should say, from the driver's seat. And that is going to be useful to a lot of people. Now I'm going to come right here and show you a few things that are going on with this particular screen. You can see the different options that you have as far as things you can turn on and off. This is where you turn your high beams or auto high beams on and off. We can also go into see more controls. We've got our door and window locks, lights, and your drive and park. We'll come back out of that screen. You will come over here and have a little bit more where that is concerned. How about your lighting? It's either on, it's off. You can turn them on right here or leave it on auto. That's the easiest thing to do where that is concerned. And you can also turn your lane keep assist on and off. You don't have heated or ventilated seats, only heated seats. I don't need that today, so I dare not turn that on because we're going to be at about 103 today for our high. And as we work our way down, here are our physical controls I mentioned about your dual zone climate control for the front seat area. Dual in the front, single in the rear. You can adjust your temperature, fan speed. You can see everything that's there. We're also going to have a wireless charging pad. That's a good thing. A couple more USB ports and a 12-volt power outlet. Try and get my hand and my arm out of the way for you right there. It looks like there should be some kind of a cover right here, but there is not. Cup holders will be right here. Fingerprints on the piano black finish. That gloss black does tend to do that, so keep your microfiber cloth nearby. A little bit of storage in front of the center console, and the center console lid is a multitasker. You can use it as an armrest. You can also open that up and gain access to your space in there, in that area. Actually quite a bit, but you also have the removable tray if you want to take advantage of that. And before we hit the road for our test drive, here is the audio demonstration I always give you. There are 6 speakers here within the interior. Hope that does well for you. It sounds good for us. I hope it did for you too. As I mentioned earlier in the video, one of the advantages is taking a road trip. You get some decent gas mileage here, very solid numbers actually. Combine that with a comfortable ride quality, comfortable seating, and plenty of room, especially in the first 2 rows. It can be done in the 3rd row to help out with that as far as moving the middle seats back and forth. But ultimately, the first 2 rows, 1st and 2nd row, are going to be the most spacious. Plenty of room and adjustability here for the driver between the seat itself and the steering wheel. You will also find that this seat is nice and easily adjusted beyond just the power controls. Also lumbar support, although you do have a manually adjustable passenger seat. Gas and brake pedal, easy to manage. Everything works very well as far as that goes. Easy to learn and use technology. I talked about the fact that the technology here is actually really nice compared to the majority of competitors. It's simple, but it's effective. It's not too much, not a bunch of sub-menus you have to go into. Easy to learn. I like that. A very well-balanced vehicle with a lot of great features for the money. Between the technology, you've got a nice amount of horsepower and torque coming from that 2.5-liter 4-cylinder. A very well-balanced vehicle, but the big question for those of you who are potential buyers, what do you think is missing? Tell Chevrolet down in the comments section. What should they add or maybe even take away or change where the Traverse is concerned? And there it is, the 2027 Chevrolet Traverse LT front-wheel drive, and the advantages that it offers over the competition. There are quite a few, mainly the fact that you get a lot for the price. I know it's pretty high, but it's not 1990, so we can't go off those prices anymore because, well, times change. So tell me what you think about it in the comments section. I would like to say a special thanks to our friends at Chevy Land for loaning us this Traverse for the day so we can tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's helpful and greatly appreciated. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.